Okay, so I'll go ahead and just start off with sharing my screen. And I'm doing this in the test environment right now. Okay, so the first thing you would want to do, I already have my shopping persona on, and I would go to my purchase orders. And this is to make any kind of change that you want to a purchase order. Um, Requesters are limited to what they can request on a change order, but it doesn't prevent them from getting that change order done. So I'm going to go ahead and do one on Taft Plumbing. So I'm just opening up the PO. And in this example, I have services for a pipe repair, but maybe I want to increase the dollar amount because it took longer than expected or more money than $250. So what I have to do is go to the three dots up here at the top, and then I have to click on Create Change Request. And when this happens, you get this notification of why you want to create your change request. So I'm going to notify the two people at the top and not worry about this section at all and put in my reason for my change request here. So I'm going to add an additional 250 for extra time needed to complete the repair. And I'm going to attach the documentation that tells them more information about the increase. So it may have like an email from the plumber saying it's going to cost 250 more, or maybe you got the revised invoice and now that you're going to attach the invoice here to show why you want to increase it. And then once that's done, this appears up here, change request and a number, and the pencils are now open for making edits. So I'm going to go down to the line that I'm going to increase, which on this PO, there's only one line. So I have to go into the form where I can edit the details of this line. And once I click on that form, I'm going to go back into the cost details section and change the information that was there previously. So it was 250, I'm adding another 250, so I'm changing it to 500. And everything else remains the same description because I didn't change anything. And once I have that successfully saved, I go back to the change request and I could scroll down and see that the edit I made is there. And it's changed on this side as well. And once I submit this request, it's going to go through this workflow. So the DOA is going to see it again. Procurement's going to review it one more time, and it's going to be updated and finished. So I'll go ahead and submit this request. And similar to a requisition, it comes up with a number for my change request. So I can copy this number and search for it here if I want to look to see where it's at in the process. And it shows here on the summary section what's going on with this change request. Right now, it's currently pending DOA approval. So once it's completely approved, then it'll change on the PO. So here's your related documents, which includes the PO and the requisition. So if I click the PO now, since it hasn't gone through workflow yet, it's still showing 250. Once the change order is approved, this PO will change to 500. Is there any questions regarding this change request process?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Martha.
I don't do that many requisitions. I'm sure you guys noticed, but if it's already the job has already been performed, that's okay.
Mhm.
We just use the same. We just do the change in the original PO.
Yeah, you would still need to do the change in the PO if like you ordered something on this PO, but then the price is different. So I would say something like hospitality,
Oh
and you
yeah,
did a
perfect.
hospitality
Yeah.
form, and then maybe you needed more balloons or more food or something like that. So then your price is now different. So you could do the same thing. Your price is different. Now you're going to make a change request to
Okay.
show what that extra price is. But let's say I'll do another example. Let's say you want to add another line to your PO. Maybe it's something different, like you had your plumber came out and they performed the service and they still did it in 2 hours, but they needed some extra parts to pay, to fix the repair. So
Julie,
now they have a charge for that. Uh-huh.
before we do this one, can we do the chart field string change?
Chart field string change on
Yeah.
the same type of request. Okay.
Maybe
Okay,
let's
we'll do that
do,
one after.
yeah.
Okay. So we'll do a change to the chart field string, which is the same thing. You go to the purchase orders, my purchase orders, and I'm just taking this off so I could see more purchase orders. And I'm going to go into Taft Plumbing here. Okay, so this one is for a toilet repair, but I want to change the chart field string. So what do I want to change the chart on the chart field string, Bianca? Maybe the depth ID? Okay, so I'm going to have to do the same thing. I want to change that. So I'm going to create change request and put my notification change depth ID and create change request. I don't have anything to attach because it's just the department ID. It's no cost or anything changing. So I'll just scroll down to the line. There's no vouchers on here, so I don't have to worry about any problems. I'm just going to go into this chart field string section and just change the chart field string. So let's say I'll do the business services admin instead of procurement. Okay, I changed the chart field string. It shows on here that I changed it. It's still going to go through the workflow for all the approvals, and I'm just going to submit the request.
So just to be clear, when you submit a change request, it's gonna go back through the workflow that it went through when you submitted the requisition. So it will go back through the original workflow all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing to bring up is anything that is on a punch out. So Julie, if you want to scroll down to the punch out section. So anything that is a punch out, for example, Staples, Amazon, B&H, all of these that you go to an external website, the only change request that you can do is changing your chart field string. So you can't go in and change a price. You can't go in and change a quantity to 2 instead of 1. The only thing you can do is change a chart field string because you're going and checking out from an external website. So say you ordered 1, but you realized, oh no, I meant to order 2. You would have to basically go in and submit another requisition because you're punching out from an external website. So the only change request that you can do is changing your chart field strings on punch outs. Any questions on that?
Okay. So it's a rare occurrence that somebody would want to add a line, but it does happen. So in those situations, you would have to notify the buyer of the purchase order in order to make that change. Similar to what we've done in the past where we've asked the requester to send us an email with the DOA already approving the change on the email. We would do the same thing in this system. We would ask that you attach the email approval to the request to change. So here's an example of how you would do that. Go to your purchase order that you want to change. Okay, so I'll open up this one. And then, oops, sorry, I went too fast. Here on the summary page, down in this section here, is this where you see the buyer? Oh yeah. So the PO owner information has the buyer listed in this section. So you see who the buyer is for your order, and then you go into the comments section and you send a note to your buyer. So the buyer in this one is me. So I will click on my name, click on the buyer's name, whoever the buyer is, and send them a note saying, please add PO line 2 for additional cost of parts to complete the repair. I don't want to just add it to the first line because the first line is the hourly services that they're charging, but now we want to add they're charging us for parts. So I'm going to add another line, or at least I'm going to ask the buyer to add another line. And then I'm going to attach my approval here. For that increase. And I'm going to click on the check mark so that way that person gets notified in their email. And when they get the notification, they'll go back directly back into the PO. So your buyer may reach out just for clarification to make sure they're doing exactly what you've requested for them to do. But it won't go back through workflow. So that's why we ask that you ask your DOA in their email to approve whatever needs to be done and attach it here so we still have transparency that the changes being made was approved by your DOA and it's attached in this section. Is there any other questions regarding this type of change request?
So, Julie, this is for after it's gone through and is a PO not in the requisition stage, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not in the requisition stage. If you need a change while it's in the requisition stage, the best thing to do is check where it's at in your summary section. And you could either have the, if it hasn't been through DOA yet, you can ask your DOA to return it to you to make that change. or you can ask the DOA to make the change themselves. They can make the change for you, but they may want to return it to you to make the change.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions on change orders or change request? So we currently have two different terminology to try to differentiate the two. The one that the buyers handle is called a PO revision, and the one that is done by requesters is called a change request.